I have no idea when that thing ends, so here we go.
What?
Trying out the new technology here. I got the clapping to work. Does the clapping stop? Wow, we've got a standing ovation going on out there. All right.
Goodness gracious. We've never deserved that.
Things are okay. It looks like everything's working. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
All right.
And we're live and we're going for it. You know what? I want to hit the now I'm going to hit the intro so that we can have a real intro rather than just the countdown. I'll do a shorter countdown next time. Ready? Here we go.
Good job by J.J. McCarthy. Take the handoff. And Alec Manis is going to throw a pick. They give it to Corum. Up back. Corum. Touchdown, Wolverine. Roman Wilson does it again. Corum finds some daylight. He's got some speed and some blockers. Outside. Turns the corner. Blake Corum down the sideline. Looking over the middle. Caught. Touchdown, Wolverine. McCarthy extends the play, now using legs. McCarthy a first down.
Hey, we got another standing ovation. Check that out.
That one end?
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Big Ten Team Rivalry Show, where we have expert analysis and unrivaled trash talk. No, that's backwards. We have unrivaled analysis and expert trash talk. We should trash talk ourselves sometimes, although I offer plenty of fodder for that. At any rate, you've heard the news, but you haven't heard it from us. We're not experts in the field, and we're not insiders either, but we do love to talk football. And we love to talk football with all of you guys out there because you are the best audience in all of YouTube. My name is Cliff. His name is
Mac.
There we go.
What up? Hey, wait a minute. The name I put in is gone now.
Well, fix it.
I put in my name. It's not Mac Richardson. Now everybody knows my last name. That's
everybody knows your last name. Oh, look, here we have the chats are working. It's not
I'm trying to
exactly the way I wanted it to appear, but let's see. I'm going to try a different. Oh, there we go. Let's do that. That one looks good. What's up, Buckeyes Battle Cry? Rob out there. Good to see you guys. I was just starting to watch your latest video on the hypocrisy coming out of Michigan Nation over NIL. We'll have to talk about that sometime. But at any rate, I can still see your whole name, Mac. Did you go to?
I don't know how to change it.
All right. Well, you'll figure it out at some point.
I will.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Well, I was also busy putting in the super chat goal since that did so well for us 2 weeks ago.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
What? I was going to say the super chat goal for today is we want to get 5 super chats of $2 or more. Because then I figured, you can super chat $2 and no one's going to, that's not going to break the bank, right? I mean, it's right. Right. Inflation's at 2.4% now. I feel like we're doing okay. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. And whoever super chats the last super chat of the evening, as long as we get 5, I will wear on the next live stream, I will wear a shirt of your favorite team. Now, keep in mind, depending on what that team is, I may then cut it up on the stream. Fair?
I guess.
I think that's fair.
All right. So, yeah, it's been a wild couple of weeks. I know. So what was it? 3 weeks ago, we had the whole $100 super chat, which was crazy. And then it was 2 weeks ago, you did you wore the Ohio State jersey and cut it up on the air because I think Blue Wolverine gave us another $49 to watch you cut it up.
To watch me cut it up. Yeah.
Last week was also the whole big power outage that messed everything up. And then
that
Mac,
was like 2 weeks ago.
Mac, you've been killing it the last week and a half with those videos. Hitting all those views, and we've gotten we went up 145 subscribers in the last week and a half.
176. We've gotten 176 new subscribers over the last week and a half, and huge thank you to everyone who is stopping by.
Yeah,
you're predominantly all Michigan fans, which I feel like means that we need, except for him. What if I gave all 5? Will you wear Ohio State? Dude, I already wore them. Sure. Yeah, go ahead. Give us 5 super chats of $2 a piece, and I will wear an Ohio State shirt next. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself again.
I don't know either.
I'll do it again. I will wear
Amazing what Mac
another
can do for
Ohio
money.
State shirt. It is kind of, yeah, apparently I'm super cheap. I can be bought.
Sure.
How do you change your name?
It's got to be in your settings. Look in your settings.
I'm looking at the
Look in your
settings. It's
account
not
settings.
there.
Oh my goodness.
Just whatever. I don't care. I think I have to like exit but like with a different name.
I can change it.
Oh, you can
Boom.
change it. Okay.
Now you're Mac again.
Now
and now
Mac.
you're
That's
going
nice.
all fuzzy there. All right.
I am.
Also, Rob, there was answering me about the video. They're saying it's all fun and rivalry banter. I know you guys. I know you're getting on there, and you guys are great. You like I've told you guys before, you're 2 of the best analysts out there. And so when you guys talk trash like that, I know it's all in fun. I appreciate it. So this past week, Michigan has been going crazy with recruiting. We wanted to talk about recruiting. We wanted to talk about this the lawsuits that the NCAA is facing. I had some questions for you, Mac, that I did not prep you for because I just wanted to get your sort of instantaneous reaction. But where would you like to start? You want to start with that NCAA lawsuit stuff, or do you want to talk about recruiting?
Oh man, let's start with the NCAA. I didn't know that was happening again. Still.
Oh, you picked out the article?
I did. Oh, you're right. I did. No, I did know that was happening.
Also in the chat, there's the first one. Rob's doing it.
All right, there we go.
Thanks, Rob. $1.99 from Buckeyes Battle Cry. Click, like, and subscribe. Great channel. Thank you very much, Rob. Really appreciate that. Buckeyes Battle Cry is also an awesome channel. Check them out. Like and subscribe their stuff too. I was going to say in the chat, if you guys have stuff you want to talk about, go ahead and post it. We can always change up our schedule here. Like I said, we're just here to talk football. We don't plan things very well. We don't coordinate all that much. We're just talking football. So if there's things you guys want to talk about, let's talk about it.
Very well, he says, as though we planned it all.
We planned nothing. I understand nothing.
You get nothing.
So the NCAA fiscal year 24. This is the article coming from Sportico, and it's by Daniel Libet. And he says the NCAA fiscal year 24 tax return, house money, banker pay, emerit parachute. The NCAA's fiscal year 24 federal tax return reveals significant financial strain due to ongoing legal battles, particularly the House versus NCAA settlement, which is going to allow players to get paid. The organization spent over $62 million on legal fees in fiscal year 24 alone, pushing its legal expenditures since 2009 to over, you want to take a guess at this number?
1 billion?
$500 million.
I was so close.
So close. $500 million in legal
They've
fees.
Spent $500 million since 2009 in legal fees?
Yes. Despite generating $1.29 billion in revenue, the NCAA ended the fiscal year with a $1.97 billion net asset deficit and over $3 billion in liabilities. So this is what we've been saying for years now. The NCAA, as much as they're supposed to look out for the players and the schools and whatnot, whenever you see the NCAA represented in a movie about football, they're never the good guys and they're never on the right side.
Or they're idiots.
Which
is closer to real life.
It must be. Hey, Tom's out there. Hey, Tom, how you doing?
Hey, Tom. Go blue.
So I really need my glasses.
Thing to have, yeah.
There we go. So legal costs, $62 million in fiscal year 24, $500 million since 2009. They have, they distributed $688 million to 1,185 colleges, universities, and conferences. That was in grants and assistance. Their revenue sources, $948 million in TV rights and $263 million from the championships and NIT. I don't know
Yeah,
what
the
NIT is.
NIT, the NIT tournament, the NIT tournament, National Invitational Tournament. If you don't
Oh,
make March
okay.
Madness, then you go to the NIT.
Right. Okay.
Kind of like Ohio
Staffing?
State every year.
619 full-time employees, up from 591, still below pre-pandemic levels. Executive compensation. Charlie Baker. Charlie Baker makes $3.4 million
For what?
for saying Michigan won fair and square. So he probably got a buyout. I'm sure Harbaugh paid him under
No,
the table for that, right?
I can't even. He makes 3 point whatever million dollars just to sit there and go, "We exist. We're here, and we mean something. Pay attention to us."
Never the good guys.
Deserve.
Never.
There's no CEO. I don't know what I'm trying to say. He does not deserve that kind of pay.
So
That's
here we go.
ridiculous.
They published this. Their top legal contractors, Wilkinson Steckloff, they paid him $11 million. Barnes and Thorburg, they paid him $5.3 million. Oric Harrington and Sutcliffe, $4.8 million. Brian Cave, $3.7 million. Latham and Watkins, $3.6 million. Oh, you know which one's not on here though? Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe is not on there, and I believe they paid them $5 million.
Good Lord. Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I uninstalled a bunch of stuff from my computer. Do I look clearer now?
Looks great. You look fantastic.
Awesome. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. They spent that's a stupid amount of money. That is a ridiculous amount of money. So they have to pay $2.8 billion in back damages over the past 10 years to athletes who competed from 2016 to 2021. Here's so this is the House versus NCAA settlement, right?
Right.
Why 2016? Why don't they go back to 2011 or 2010 and let all those Ohio State players keep their tattoos?
Yeah, that's the thing. Well, you're always going to leave somebody out. They're trying to do that to compensate some of those players that missed out. So they go back as many years as they think is fiscally feasible. And that's what they end up with. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm sure there's going to be athletes from, the 2015 season who are going to be like, hey, what about us? We got shafted too. But I guess that's what lawsuits are for. And that's when, the more lawsuits will be brought out and the NCAA will just be pounded into dust.
But do you think this is going to have any effect on the hammer coming from Michigan?
I mean, I guess that's the speculation there. I would think that if they could get away with it, I think that would rack up whatever penalties they want Michigan to pay. So if they were going to hit Michigan with like a $10 million fine, they might, say, oh, you know what? It's actually $20 million.
Oh man, actually it's 60 million or 100 million or
I don't know.
What's the most a school has been funded?
I don't know. I don't know how far these fines go or who gets them. I imagine that Penn State or Tennessee never got fined, did they? Didn't they have like 18 level ones and they never got fined for it or punished for it? Oh,
no, you were dead on with Penn State. You ready for this?
I thought it was like, well, let me guess. If I remember, I thought it was $100 million and 4-year suspension.
You got the 4-year suspension, but it was 60 million.
60 million. Okay.
Yeah. The largest fine ever imposed by the NCAA was a $60 million penalty levied against Penn State University in 2012. The unprecedented sanction was part of the fallout from the Jerry Sandusky child abuse scandal, which revealed systemic failures in leadership. Why the fine was so severe? The NCAA determined that Penn State failed to protect children and prioritized football success over human decency. The fine was intended to reflect the revenue of the football program generated in a typical year. Wow, so they generate 60 million in a year. Geez.
I'm sure.
Symbolize. Oh, this is weird. Okay, symbolizing the cost of the university's misplaced priorities. It was symbolic.
Symbolic.
That's wild. Okay, so what if they use the same logic? What?
Symbolic in what way?
Symbolic because it reflected the revenue the football program generated in the typical year.
Oh, I see.
Okay, so what if, and I'm just throwing this out here because, and I don't know if this is like Buckeye scoop level nonsense, but are we still allowed to make jokes about Buckeye scoop?
I mean, it's.
I mean, it was just no.
No.
But the organization's not the one guy. I mean, you know.
No, but it's all part of it. It's a sad situation for the family that lost their.
Yeah, that's true.
Son and father.
All right. I don't know if this is Stephen A. Smith level of nonsense.
All right.
There we go.
Hey, Brandon.
But
go blue.
What if the NCAA uses this type of subjective symbolism in determining the penalty for Michigan? Because you think about it, like, okay, they're basically admitting here that this was symbolic, right? So that means it was based off of feeling. So they were trying to levy penalties against Penn State that was literally founded based on their feelings. So what if they look at Michigan and they go, look, you've humiliated us multiple times on a national level. We've lost multiple lawsuits because of you and the United States House. We are sick of this, and we're going to make an example out of you. $80 million fine, 4-year show cause for Sharon Moore.
Wait a minute. At that point, wouldn't it be the $2 billion?
Well,
the NCAA now has to pay out $2 billion, so now they're going to take it out of Michigan if they go according to that, right? To make it symbolic.
Yeah, I mean, there's that. But maybe it's symbolic of the amount of revenue that Michigan made over the 2.5 years they were cheating.
Right.
I mean, and now Jim Harbaugh is being implicated in a lawsuit, a class action lawsuit, I think it was as well.
Yeah, we can get to that one too.
Okay, I know we're kind of all over the place. We were talking about the NCAA, but did you have anything more about that?
Well, actually, so Brandon brings it up too. So, yeah, we could go into that one.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have any more to say about the NCAA in particular as far as those fines go. It's just, to me, I guess the only other thing I would say is that this is the organization that is supposed to be protecting college sports, and they're getting sued across the board repeatedly. It makes it difficult to trust them at all, because how do you trust an organization that is supposed to be protecting these students and these athletes, and yet is constantly being sued by these students and athletes?
I don't know, but like,
it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make sense, but that's why I feel like that's why their existence is kind of stupid, frankly.
Yeah.
They're controlling people who have more power than them. The only reason the NCAA exists is because the Big Ten and the SEC haven't gone their own way. The Big Ten and the SEC are the big money makers for the NCAA. As soon as the Big Ten and SEC say to the NCAA, we're out, we're forming our own super league, we're done with you people. The NCAA is finished at that point. Not finished. I mean, they have to scale back significantly, but I mean, they're going to lose their cash cow. So they literally only exist because the Big Ten and SEC allow them to, which is why it was so frustrating when Tony Petitti bent over and let the NCAA do whatever to Michigan. Actually, they didn't let the NCAA. They punished Michigan themselves over nothing. And they said they had nothing. They said that they had literally no evidence. It just looked like, or they said that the NCAA says they have evidence. We haven't seen it yet, but we're going to go ahead and punish you anyway. That's infuriating, especially because the NCAA only exists because the Big Ten and the SEC allow them to.
Right. Yeah, it's frustrating.
Yeah, it is.
This okay, so Matt Weiss, just I'll fill people in maybe if you don't know what's going on here. Matt Weiss was caught by the FBI for let's see, he was hacking It was computer hacking. He was hacking into accounts of student athletes, in particular female student athletes, women student athletes, stealing private information, identity theft, photos, and all of this kind of stuff. And apparently, as it turns out, people are putting things. You know what? So I'm not trying to get into victim blaming here. The only person at fault here is Matt Weiss. Matt Weiss is a horrible person, and I want to make that clear. The other thing I want to make clear is, as a programmer of 30 years and somebody who's been involved in computers for going on 40 some odd years now, I want everybody out there to know and to understand, to take this to heart, to tattoo it on the back of your hand if you need to. Nothing online is secure. Period. Please understand that. Please know that. You can do what you want. You can take pictures of yourself doing whatever you feel like you want to do. Send it around the internet. You can store it on your OneDrive or your Google Drive or Box or whatever. Just understand that somebody is out there working 24/7 to get into your account, and don't think they're not. I'm off my soapbox. Okay. So
I think you're wrong. I don't know.
So the other part of this now is, so Matt Weiss has been caught doing identity theft, computer fraud, computer hacking. He was doing this at Michigan. He was doing this at the Ravens. He was doing it at what was the other college he was at? Or was it another pro team? He's done this at like 3 different places over the last 8 or 9 years. So it's not a Michigan thing. It's a Matt Weiss thing. Now, so Matt Weiss is the one who has been arrested by the FBI. I believe he's going to jail on, is it 29 counts or something like that? He's going to jail for a long time. Rightly so. Terrible things. Now, what they're doing with Jim Harbaugh and Ward Manuel is saying, and Santaono, they've now named them in a lawsuit because apparently they think that they should have known and they should have stopped it. So, of course, rival fans take this to mean that Jim Harbaugh and Ward Manuel and Santaono knew about it for sure, for certain, and there's no debating it. But that's not really the case. What happens in these lawsuits is they just start naming people that they think may have been involved so that they can take them to court and potentially win a civil suit against them. And it's what lawyers do, and lawyers have to justify their jobs. So they just start naming people and say, hey, he has a lot of money. Let's sue him too. So that's what's happening. Now, if it turns out that Harbaugh did know, that's another story. But the way I see it right now, Mac is talking to his wife on the chat there.
Hi, honey.
But the way it stands right now, there's no proof that Harbaugh or Santaono or Ward Manuel knew anything about this. So it's a wait and see. I don't want to condemn anybody. I wouldn't condemn anybody if this were at Ohio State or Penn State or Oregon. It's just, you got to wait and see. And I know that, the rival fans aren't going to listen to me. They're just going to do what they're going to do. But that's what I think about it. So let's see. What did Brandon then says? I don't think Michigan and Jim Harbaugh would have hired him if he knew what he was doing this. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Why would they? It would be silly.
I feel like Jim Harbaugh has been so outspoken about his morals that, if he knew what was going on with Matt Weiss, first off, there are a million other offensive coordinators. He already had Sharon Moore. He didn't need Matt Weiss. So if he knew what Matt Weiss was doing, he would have been gone a long time ago.
Yeah. Brandon says, yeah, they're called hackers. Yes, they are. And funny enough, it used to be all of us programmers were like, oh yeah, I'm a hacker. I'm a hacker. I don't even want to be called a hacker anymore, because that's what hackers are. Hackers do bad things.
You are what is now referred to as an ethical hacker.
Ethical hacker. Yes. I only hack things that I absolutely need to. In fact, so early,
what was that?
Early on, I was trying to get a tech temp job, and you had to take a typing test. And this is 35 years ago, you had to take a typing test on their computer in their office. And they left me alone while I was doing this, and I totally messed it up, and I got like 5 words a minute. And so I actually broke into the operating system, cleared out the test, and restarted it so that I could take it over again.
Oh my gosh.
And they had no idea.
That's amazing. All
And
right.
I got the job. So
Yeah, you did.
yeah, I did. Oh yeah.
Because of that.
Because of that, yeah.
Are you sure they didn't know?
Well, if they did, they didn't say anything. So
I mean, they probably hired you because of that.
they may have. That might have been part of
Yeah.
the test. Who knows? Let's see if he can break the system.
Let's see if he can break it.
We are the nerds in the maize and blue. Elle says,
That's-
I just said hi to my phone as if you could hear me. Hey, thank you, Elle. I appreciate that. Yes, I
Papa
have.
Bear just got
I
way
have
cooler.
hacked system. Elle is my daughter-in-law. So, all right, those are my thoughts anyway on the whole Matt Weiss thing and the
Okay.
naming Jim Harbaugh and Ward Manuel and Santa Ono and that. I don't know. Did you have any thoughts on that?
Well, I looked it up to try and get a little bit more information on it because I'll be completely honest with you. All of these recruits are coming in and it's just way too much to keep up with. I mean, goodness gracious, every 5 seconds, oh, Michigan got a new star recruit. I'm like, yeah, what else is new? I mean, come on. But you got to keep up with the news. I mean,
You do. Yeah, absolutely.
you do. You got to keep up with it. So Matt Weiss is facing 14 counts of unauthorized
14.
computer
Okay.
access and 10 counts of aggravated identity theft. That's really funny. Aggravated. I am aggravated while I steal your identity. I guess. I don't know. Illegally. Okay. Hacking into email accounts, cloud storage, and social media accounts of over 2,000 student athletes, mostly women.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's
I'm laughing at something else. I'm not laughing at that. Yeah, you hacked all those accounts. No, I'm not laughing.
Violate some
Seriously.
privacy.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but here's the thing. So Harbaugh was named because they think Harbaugh and other Michigan officials knew about Weiss's misconduct before the 2022 Fiesta Bowl. Despite this, Matt Weiss was allowed to coach in the game against TCU. The university allegedly prioritized football success over student safety, delaying action until after the game. Or, and I'm just spitballing here, maybe they were busy, I don't know, planning for the Fiesta Bowl.
Right. Well, and so of course that's the lawyers talking there. The lawyers are going to put everything in such a way as to make everybody they want to look guilty. There is the possibility that somebody came to Harbaugh and said, "Hey, we think this is happening," and then Harbaugh probably said, "We'll find out," and then we'll go from there. The whole idea too is that you can't look at everybody as being, this isn't middle school. It's not like we're reporting on people and tattletaling and all of that, and the teacher's going to come in and take care of it. This is, professional professional football. Harbaugh is a professional. Everybody working there is a professional, and they have to act like professionals.
Yeah.
So they're not going to condemn somebody immediately because one person came up and said they think they saw something, if that's the way it happened. Now, again, if it turns out that Harbaugh had full knowledge and still let him coach, then that's another story. So,
I mean, if he had full knowledge and they had evidence, then yeah, at that point, it's like, all right, that sucks. Like, what are you doing? But
right.
yeah.
Keegan is out there, got the fireworks going.
Hey, Keegan.
Very nice. Did you see? I saw this on X. Somebody, I wish I would have saved it, but somebody said that how many people are out there this weekend living with no, hold on, I'll get it. How many people don't know that this is the last weekend they'll spend with all 10 fingers? It took me a minute to get it too. I'm like, whoa, no. So, PSA, be careful lighting off those fireworks. Happy 4th of July. Remember, light and throw. Light and throw. Light and throw.
Or light and then back away. Really
Yeah.
fast. Yeah.
Don't stand there and see if it's if it's a dud or not. You'll
Don't
find
be
out
like-
at some point.
Who was the professional football player that blew his hand off? Wasn't it Juju Smith-Schuster?
I don't know.
I can't remember who it was, but somebody blew his hand off or blew 3 fingers off, and then like was one of the like biggest sack leaders of biggest. Ooh, that was inappropriate. He had a lot of sacks. No, that also kind of sounds.
The quarterback. He sacked
the quarterback
many times
on many occasions, very appropriately. Took him to the ground.
Enthusiasm.
Yeah. He rode that guy to the ground. No. He grabbed.
Marmar says, "Go blue, go blue, Marmar,
go blue." Yeah, he had a lot of sex. See, I can't say it now. I'm going to start.
All right, yeah, let's move on from that one. Let's talk some more football.
Let's talk football. All right.
So I want to get into these are so the questions I have for you.
All right. Questions.
Let's start with those. I've got this actually comes from Isaiah Hull, our friend over there at Wolverines Wire, Locked On Wolverines. I'm going to put up a banner here. So he came up with a list of 10 questions going into Michigan's season. And the first one is the offensive identity shift. Will the offense be different this year? Different, AKA better. So what you know of Michigan right now, from the 2025 recruiting, Bryce Underwood from the spring game and all that, would you expect that the offense is going to be better this year than last year or not?
I just don't see how any quarterback can replicate the success that Davis Warren had. Man, I feel bad even just making that joke. I love me some Davis Warren. You cannot at all speak poorly about a guy who goes into Columbus and beats Ohio State. I'm sorry. He just, that's just where I'm at. But yes, obviously this offense is going to be a lot better. Yeah, I mean, even just having Bryce Underwood alone at quarterback is going to be an improvement. It sounds like it. Actually, maybe I shouldn't even say that because that's putting a lot of pressure on him, and we haven't seen him in action, and the action that we did see was 3 interceptions in the spring game. And I get it. It's a spring game. You can't take anything away from that, really. I mean, it's very difficult to analyze spring games and be like, yeah, this is how how they're going to play in the actual season. Because I remember watching last year's spring game and thinking, oh, that Orgy's pretty good. And Davis Warren's pretty good too. So like, I think we're probably going to, maybe repeat natties. I don't know. And no, that's not the case.
No, it's not.
It is interesting though, because they were bottom of the barrel last year in offensive efficiency. Analysts are predicting a top 20 finish in total offense this year, as long as Underwood develops quickly and the offensive line holds up. That's kind of the question coming into this year.
Gage, new guy coming on here. Thanks for watching, Gage. Yeah, he beat cancer in his body and then beat cancer in Columbus. Oh, have you seen Gage here before?
I think I've seen Gage around before.
All right, I apologize, Gage.
Well, don't apologize. You're just human.
Oh, well, But yeah, that's I know they were saying that about Davis Warren there for a little while. Yeah, he's got a great personal story.
Yeah,
but he wasn't a great quarterback. But I mean, beat Northwestern, Ohio State, and Alabama. So he's one of our favorites.
The most impressive being Northwestern, obviously. Yeah, I think so. The fact that like people are predicting Michigan could end with a top 20 offense. I mean, and we're already looking at the defense finishing top 5 or being a top 5 defense. There's no reason to think that Michigan can't win the Big Ten. You've got a fairly easy Big Ten schedule, all things considered. Oklahoma is a non-conference game. I know people are saying like, yeah, Oklahoma could be something this year. I mean, maybe I don't really see it. I don't like the trenches under Brent Venables. Brent Venables seems to be one of those coaches that gets a pretty good recruiting class and has good players, but doesn't really do a lot with them. So, but by the same token, I don't like playing on the road at night in the SEC. I understand that they're basically Big 12 adjacent, but still, I mean, a road game in Norman, Oklahoma, I mean, that's a tough environment. I don't care how bad they are. So I don't love that early in the season, especially with, Bryce Underwood breaking him in and who knows how that's going to go. Underwood's kind of interesting though, because like in high school, he played in a lot of big, high pressure environments. So it's not like he doesn't have experience, but I wonder how much of that can actually be, how much of that can actually matter to the college game right off the bat. Now, look, if Michigan goes to Oklahoma and beats them by 2 scores, then the rest of the season is like, I mean, at that point, there's no reason why they don't go 12-0 and head right back to the Big Ten championship, probably against Penn State. I'm curious to see how Oregon reloads. That's going to be an interesting question mark this year, is to see how Oregon does coming out of, I mean, that was a wildly disappointing end to the season last year. And now Dylan Gabriel's gone. So how do they reload? But in terms of Michigan, though, I don't see them losing to Ohio State, because Ohio State has to come to the big house with a brand new quarterback, and they don't recruit the trenches extremely well, at least not as well as Michigan. They don't develop the trenches as well as Michigan for sure. And Michigan also had, one of the worst offenses in the country last season, and was still able to kind of move the ball, at least on the ground anyway, against Ohio State. Their quote unquote best team ever. Get out of here. All right, whatever. Your team went 10-2 and then went on a run in the playoffs because you guys lost to Michigan and you got pissed. So you're welcome for your national championship, Ohio State. I hope you enjoy it. Not that they didn't earn it. They earned it. They had a really good playoffs and they should be proud of that. But I mean, why did they have a good playoff? Jeremiah Smith even said that they got pissed because of Michigan and they played even better in the playoffs because of it.
Oh, yeah. Well, you remember when we were talking to Peter and Rob over there, Buckeyes Battle Cry, they kept saying, thank you for, winning that game, because it put a fire into Ohio State and got them to the championship.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's true. And they deserve it because they slaughtered everybody. Even Notre Dame kind of came back, they tried. Yeah. I think they put up the biggest fight against Ohio State. Well, Texas put up a fight.
Yeah. But
I don't know. I just want to give Notre Dame some flowers because I kind of have a soft spot for Notre Dame. That's one jersey. If we end up getting the super chat goal, which everybody check out that super chat goal if you're interested. But if we get that super chat goal and somebody says, now you got to wear a Notre Dame shirt. All right.
Mm-hmm. All right. So say what the super chat goal is again.
Okay, so the super chat goal is, I will wear a shirt of your favorite team for whoever the last super chatter is. I will wear a shirt for your favorite team. It's a $2 super chat or more if you felt so inclined, and we have to receive 5 of them.
So we've got one already from Buckeyes Battle Cry.
We've got one already. So if you wanted to send $8 in super chats, just cut up into $2 segments, you're more than welcome. Also, Michigan fans, I feel like you're kind of you don't really have much of an incentive to do.
Yeah, because you're already wearing the Michigan shirt.
Because I'm already wearing the Michigan shirt.
So Brandon says Bryce Underwood is going to be primed and ready by the time we play Buckeyes in November. I actually do want to talk about Bryce Underwood more in a bit, because that's a big question mark right there. Let me ask you this one. There's question number 2. So Michigan sits at 4th in the Big Ten. And actually, I'm going by Phil Steele. The Phil Steele catalog came out early.
That thing's a monster.
And Phil Steele has Michigan at 4th in the Big Ten, behind Penn State, Ohio State, Oregon, and then Michigan. So my question to you, and I'm going to give you some more stats here, is what does Michigan have to do to get past Oregon, Ohio State, and Penn State? So some things to keep in mind here. Penn State is returning 9 starters on offense and 6 starters on defense. OSU, by contrast, is returning 6 on offense and 3 on defense. Oregon is back up. They've got 8 returning starters on offense and 6 on defense. Michigan is flat, 7 on offense and 7 on defense. So Michigan is right up there with them. In fact, they're returning more starters than Ohio State. But not, and they kind of even with Oregon, but then Penn State has the edge, I think, with the offense. Although actually you've got 15 or 14. Yeah. So Penn State has the edge in returning starters. Phil Steele is also picking Penn State to win it all. So we've got a scenario here where if Michigan ends up number 2 in the Big Ten, they're likely going to face Penn State in the Big Ten championship because they only play Ohio State in the regular season. They do not play Penn State or Oregon this year. So again, the question then is, what does Michigan need to do to get over Ohio State, Oregon, and Penn State?
Well, I think that they need to hope that they don't play Oregon. Because if they have to go through, well, I mean, and that's, I feel like 3 teams. Okay. I'm going to start all over the place here. I'm going to start by saying, I think 3 teams from the Big Ten make the playoffs. Michigan, Penn State, and whoever wins between Ohio State and Oregon. Because in my opinion, either Ohio State or Oregon is going to be a 1-loss team. The other one, whoever loses that game, is going to be a 2-loss team, in my opinion. I think they play. Now I got to make sure that they actually play each other, because I just said that and I realized I don't remember off the top of my head if they actually play. They freaking don't. It's Penn State. Okay, so let me revise this. The loser of the Penn State-Ohio State game might not make the playoffs. Although now that I say that, Ohio State plays Texas to start the season. So I don't know. Ohio State might have 2 losses before they even get to the Michigan game. Wow. I didn't think about that. Ohio State might have 2 losses before they get, if Ohio State has 3 losses this season, they're not going to the playoffs. So how does Michigan get past Ohio State? Defense. Michigan is better in the trenches, either through development or sheer level of talent, than Ohio State. It is how it is. Jeremiah Smith wants to run his mouth. That's fine. He can do that because he's an incredible wide receiver. My goodness. And Will Howard was a very good quarterback. I mean, they had a great offense. There was one guy who said that for the 24 game that Will Howard had a concussion through most of it. I don't know. I don't know if that's true, but either way, Michigan shut them down because of defense, because of that defensive line. And that's how Michigan beats Ohio State again this season. That's Michigan's bread and butter. Ohio State is not a team. Isaiah Hull said this, I believe it was on today's episode, but he did say this. He said that Ohio State is not a team built to beat Michigan. And that's because Ohio State has the Ferraris out wide. They've got the Ferraris in the backfield. They've got Honda Civics in the trenches. Which actually, now that I say that, the new Honda Civic looks kind of sick. So I may want to take that. They've got Toyota Corollas in the trenches. So all right, that's where Michigan, I think, wins the game. Michigan will likely need to rush Julian Sayin. I believe Julian Sayin is a really talented quarterback. Everything that we're hearing out of camp is that actually things could go either way. From some of the stuff I've heard out of Buckeye camp is that Ryan Day has days where he's like, this kid could, or him and Devin Brown could win the Heisman, or maybe it was Lincoln Kienholz. I can't remember which one. They could win, or they could be Heisman dark horses. And then other weeks where he's like, why did we recruit these kids? So I guess it could really go either way. And when they actually hit the turf in August, you know, what kind of Julian Sayin is Ohio State going to get? So Michigan, by the end of the season, Julian Sayin is going to likely be ready. But if Ohio State already has 2 losses and their backs are against the wall, one of 2 things are going to happen. Either they're going to freak out and collapse in on themselves, and Michigan's going to own them in the trenches all day long. They're going to rack up probably 3 or 4 sacks on Julian Sayin, and he's going to have under 200 yards passing. Well, no, he's not. But they still have 3 or 4 sacks on him. Or their backs are going to be against the wall, and they're just going to say, screw it. Screw it. Jeremiah Smith down there somewhere. And they're going to throw it down the field all game long and just see what happens. Either way, I think Michigan wins. So that's how Michigan gets past Ohio State. The way that Michigan gets past Penn State, if they play in the Big Ten championship, I don't know that they do. I think if Michigan and Penn
tough.
State meet in the Big Ten championship, because in my humble opinion, Penn State has the harder path to the Big Ten championship. Let me just check here. Yeah, so they got an absolutely abysmal non-conference. Holy crap. They play Nevada, Florida International, and then Villanova. Are those two FCS teams that they're playing to start the season? That is ridiculous. All right. Anyway, okay. So as I was saying,
Nevada's FBS.
Yeah, but FIU
Florida
and
Villanova, yeah, those might be.
I think Villanova definitely is. But in any case, the way that Penn State, so if Michigan and Penn State meet in the Big Ten championship, then Penn State, I feel like, probably has the edge, just because they're probably going to have at least the more complete offense, or at least the offense is going to be the most experienced. They return a lot of starters. Drew Aller is an incredible quarterback. I just feel like they've got a lot of experience, and it'll honestly come down to James Franklin. Is he going to James Franklin, or is he actually going to win? That's really the question there. But They do have, I think, the harder path to the Big Ten championship. They've got to go, they've got Oregon at home. That'll be an interesting game. That's actually a night game, so that'll be really interesting. We'll see what happens there. They have to go to Iowa. I mean, Iowa's not great, but like going to Iowa is always kind of like, that's kind of spooky. And then they have to go to Ohio State. And I don't love that for them, but they should be technically better than Ohio State, but are they going to beat them? I don't know. I'm going to say probably not, honestly, just because I don't trust James Franklin. I just don't. So how does Michigan beat Penn State then? I think it comes down to just out-coaching James Franklin.
Here's a good one. Yeah, TrueDog6996 says Michigan is about to have a way better QB room than Ohio State, and I'm trying to look this up while you're talking. But with Penn State, though, yeah, Penn State, James Franklin's going to James Franklin. Could they? Because that was my next question about the defense. The ground game. Could Michigan beat Penn State this year with the ground game?
I mean, they can beat anyone with the ground game. Katron Allen, though, is really good. So I guess that depends on what Michigan's defense looks like. Because I feel like Penn State, if Michigan played Penn State, that would probably be the most complete offense, at least in terms of trench play and ground game and passing game. Mm-hmm. I think at that point, it really does just come down to, can Sherrone Moore out-coach James Franklin? And quite frankly, he already has.
Yeah, he already has. Yeah,
he already has. I mean, Jim Harbaugh was suspended. He didn't know that he was going to be the head coach until literally an hour before the game in 2023, and still out-coached James Franklin. So yeah, I think Michigan can beat Penn State, and I think if it does come down to coaching, maybe they actually will. If it comes down to actual play on the field, and James Franklin removes himself from the problem, or as the problem, then maybe Penn State actually takes that game. It also depends on Jim Knowles and their defense as well. I can't remember the name of Penn State's offensive coordinator, but he always said that there was one defensive coordinator that he could never beat, and that was Jim Knowles. And so they went and hired Jim Knowles. And but the thing is that Michigan has put up 40 plus points on a Jim Knowles defense a couple of times, or 30 plus points rather. What?
Andy Kotelnicki,
yeah. But Michigan's put up 30 plus points on a Jim Knowles defense twice. And they still, he wasn't, where was he? He was at Ohio State last season. Yeah, of course he was. Duh.
Yeah.
And they still beat him last year too.
Right.
I mean, so, I don't know. To me, I guess it comes down to coaching still. And that means it's James Franklin versus Sherrone Moore. And I think Sherrone Moore has the edge.
Mm-hmm. Michigan's QB room. So going back to so Tree Dog saying that Michigan is about to have a way better QB room than Ohio State. So the roster this year. I did not realize that Davis Warren was still on the roster. I thought Davis Warren retired. I know Tuttle did. I know Tuttle's supposed to be coaching this year, isn't he?
Yeah, I think they brought him on as like a graduate assistant or something.
All right. I thought Davis Warren was heading into his undergrad and wasn't playing football this year, but he is still on the roster. So you've got Jaden Davis, Mikey Keene, Davis Warren, Bryce Underwood. Next year, this was throwing me off.
Hey, don't forget Jake Garcia. Did you say Jake Garcia?
No, is he this year?
Yeah,
because
Jake Garcia just transferred.
Off. Tree Dog here was saying that he likes Brady Smeagol better than Sayin, and I'm looking up Brady there. Brady is 2026.
Yeah.
So hopefully next season he'll be in there. He's marked as an elite athlete on Rivals or on 3.
I didn't realize he was a quarterback though. That's interesting.
Yeah. He's a 4-star, 93.43 rating. He's a Michigan commit, and they've got elite next to his name there, an athlete verified elite.
Okay, how do you pronounce it though? Is it Smeagol or is it Smigiel or Smiggle or?
I'm thinking it's Smeagol.
Smeagol.
Yeah.
Can we just call him Smeagol? Because that's awesome. Smeagol down the middle.
Smeagol. Okay, Keegan says
that Aragorn.
Yeah, Davis Warren won't be ready till mid-season. All right. I guess I lost track of Davis Warren. I honestly thought that he wasn't playing this year.
Well, he tore his Achilles or ACL. He tore his ACL in the Ohio State game. No,
that's right.
In the Alabama game. In the Alabama game. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That was towards the end of the game, wasn't it?
Yeah. Fourth quarter. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Wow, it's hard to keep track of all of these guys.
I know. It feels like a million years ago already.
I know. He is Brady. He is Brady better in high school now than Sayin in college. Oh, Brady. He is. Brady is better in high school now than Sayin in college. Okay.
Don't let a Buckeye hear you say that.
Okay. I'll go with that. Brady is going to set California State passing records this season.
Wow.
All right.
Where did Aaron Rodgers go to high school? Because Aaron Rodgers played at Cal.
Yeah.
I got to find that out.
Yeah.
Actually, who currently holds passing yards record in high school football in California?
While you're looking that up, I just want to say we are hitting a record number of viewers here. Thank you everybody out there for watching.
Oh, we are, yeah.
Just want to let you know, if you got a chance there, hit that thumbs up, give us a like there. And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. We're glad to have you here. All of that's free. And you get to see us talk football more often. And then you can join us in the chat, throw your questions in there. We'll talk about that too. As we've said before, this is, we're not the experts in the field. We're not the top analysis. We're just guys that like to talk football, and we like to talk football with you guys. So we like to include everybody. So join us in there, give us the thumbs up, and leave a comment, leave a chat. And what do you got, Mac?
Jake Browning. I can't remember where he played.
High school. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Okay, you want to know what's funny here? He's showing us how to pronounce Smeagol, and I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. Is that Terrorist?
Terrorist Reality, maybe?
Terrorist Reality. Let's go with that. It's got a cool thumbnail there. All right, Smeagol. Okay, Buckeyes Battle Cry. Rob is still out there. Every QB who has won Elite 11 has gone on and had a great college career.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Here we go. Jake Browning currently holds the California high school football passing record for career. He holds completion record, the attempts record, touchdown passes record. He holds the single season yards completion attempts passing touchdown record. And but he doesn't own any of the single game records.
That's Aaron Rodgers?
No, that's Jake Browning. Jake Browning
was the school. That's a person?
That's a person.
Sorry. I thought that was the name of the high school that Aaron Rodgers went to.
Clearly, you are not a fan of the Cincinnati Bengals.
I guess not.
Yeah. That's a football team in the NFL, in case you didn't know.
Oh, right. The NFL, that's
Yeah.
where they get paid less
Yeah.
than they do in
It
college
is.
now. Yeah.
At this point, yeah.
At this point, yeah. Tree Dog says he has thrown for over 40 touchdowns every season. They only threw 3 interceptions. One throw on the column after sitting. Okay, wait a minute. Jake Garcia is athletic but prone to mistakes.
Jake Garcia is athletic but prone to mistakes. Yeah. That makes sense.
All right.
But he does have a lot of experience. And you got to wonder, is it because of, so was it Mario Cristobal at Miami? Was it Eli Drinkowitz at Drinkwitz? Drink something. He's got a D in his last name.
Right.
At Missouri. And then I don't remember the head coach's name at ECU. Actually, I feel like ECU. No, that was the other guy who went to Purdue. Never mind. But
all right.
Was it their system? And does that mean that Chip Lindsey can actually do something with him? You know, so if he's mistake prone, that sucks. But I feel like that's something that you can clean up. Whereas athleticism, that's much harder to teach. Mm-hmm. I'm curious about Mikey Keene, though. Mikey Keene lit up Michigan's defense. That was last year.
Yep.
Remember, we went to that game at Michigan-Fresno State. He actually, I mean, he played well. He really did. Except for that pick 6 that Will Johnson called game on. That was awesome. But, you know, other than that.
All right, my next. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I wanted to put this out there. So here's something interesting about Michigan versus Ohio State's QB room. For all of the amazing quarterbacks that Ohio State has had, and they've had some truly good quarterbacks.
Oh, yeah.
Michigan's current quarterback room is better than Ohio State's. Top to bottom.
Well, that's what Tree Dog was saying, wasn't it?
That's what Tree Dog was saying.
Yeah.
Bryce Underwood is likely a generational talent. That's what we're hearing. That's the expectation. Mm-hmm. He is likely a generational talent. Julian Sayin for Ohio State. He was a 5-star and he was Elite 11 MVP. I mean, he's a good quarterback. The question is, though, he needed to put on some weight. He doesn't look like he's really lifted all that much. Is he college ready? He doesn't have as many snaps, so he's not very experienced either. Now, you can say the same thing about Bryce Underwood. The difference is that Bryce Underwood has the build. I mean, he looks
he's
like
a big guy.
He looks like he's at least a college quarterback, if not professional.
Right.
Mikey Keene, 34 career starts, 8,000 passing yards, and 65 touchdowns. He has more experience by himself than Ohio State's entire QB room combined. Jake Garcia, he might be mistake prone, but he is one of the but he's also more experienced than basically all of Ohio State's QB room. Lincoln Kienholz right now is the most experienced Ohio State quarterback, and it looks like he might be second string back up to Julian Sayin. There's a chance he is also third string, though, behind Tavian St. Clair.
He's still there.
Lincoln Kienholz?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, going back to that, was it the Missouri game that we did the live stream on?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah, and he got some playtime there because game time.
He got to play.
Yeah, he got some game time there because what was it? McCord was injured.
Yeah, McCord got hit, and I believe got a concussion. I think
something.
Either way,
that.
He had to be taken out.
But then I don't know that he hasn't taken many
he
steps
transferred
since.
McCord had transferred.
Oh, that's right. He transferred just before the game.
Yeah, I think he transferred just before the game, or at least he declared that he was sitting out the game or something before it happened. And so Lincoln Kienholz actually started, and that didn't go well for him. But I don't blame Lincoln Kienholz. I blame the situation that he was in.
Right.
But that being said, I think it's it's interesting because what I'm seeing from the QB room, so Michigan's strengths are experience, depth, and generational talent in Bryce Underwood. The weaknesses are that they're just still waiting to see what Bryce Underwood can do in live college action. For Ohio State, the strengths...
You mean experience as far as Mikey Keene and Davis Warren and that, not Bryce Underwood.
Right. Mikey Keene, Jake Garcia.
I was parsing that out. All right.
Yeah. The strengths for Ohio State's QB room, sky high potential, elite recruiting pedigree. Now, does that say anything about current playability? No. The weaknesses, virtually no college experience. So whoever they start is going to have zero college experience, except for maybe Lincoln Kienholz. But do you really want him as the starter? And I understand if Bryce Underwood starts for Michigan, you could say the same thing. But if Bryce Underwood starts for Michigan, that means he beat out two guys who are both grad transfers and have tons more experience than him, which means that he's better than them.
Yeah, McCord went higher in the draft than Howard.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. Keegan says, is this still question number 1? No, I think I'm about to ask him question number 4. I'm pretty sure we're on 4. We're not very organized here, Keegan. You know that. All right, you ready for this one?
I'm ready.
Okay.
But before we do that, we got more people watching now. So just a quick reminder, if you haven't hit subscribe, please do so. If you don't mind liking the video and possibly even sharing it, that would be awesome. All right, go ahead.
Be great. Appreciate that. Buckeyes Battle Cry says, Keegan, Howard was mentally tough and could handle the pressure of being OSU QB. Yes, he could.
I mean, he won him a national championship.
Very much so. Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that.
Okay. Next question. So Michigan needs a fast start on defense. Can the defense get out of the gate to a fast start? So we know last year, obviously, the defense is what kept Michigan in every game. But also I read too that the offense, even though the offense wasn't great last year, they didn't screw things up for the defense. And I think the best examples of that are maybe going back to, the Rich Rod and Brady Hoke years when the offense just, not only could they not do anything, but they made it worse on the defense. So at least last year, going along with our whole, this was the best 8-5 season ever. Mm-hmm. The defense hung strong. The offense, while they couldn't get any traction, they at least didn't step backwards and make things more difficult for the defense. So does the defense stand strong this year? Do they start out strong, or is this going to be a buildup?
So I'm going to completely disagree with basically everything you just said.
Fine. Whatever. Screw you.
I'm really sorry. Two things. One, the offense absolutely did screw over the defense on multiple occasions last season. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about the Texas game, especially where, the offense couldn't get anything going. And all of a sudden Michigan was down 14-0, like in the first quarter. And we were like, all right, well, this was fun.
All right.
And then
I guess, Oregon, okay. To save some face for myself, I think what I mean is it's not that they didn't get him in bad situations. It's that the offense never gave up. You didn't see an offense come out and be like, we're not going to win this game anyway, which is what we saw in the Rich Rod years. We saw an offense just completely say, who cares anymore?
Yeah.
So as much as they may have, cost them points, they never gave up. So
yes, I completely agree with that. Okay. Yeah, for sure. I just think that, they're a talented offense. The scheme wasn't there and the experience wasn't there. But I will grant you, Davis Warren and Alex Orji, the effort was never a question. Effort was never a question on offense for Michigan last year. I might push back on your comments about Rich Rod's offense, though. I mean, 2008, yeah, they had times where they just gave up for sure, but that was the whole team. But then as soon as Denard Robinson stepped on campus, that offense, and then even under Devin Gardner, which I understand was more Brady Hoke, those offenses really did click for the most part. It was the defenses, especially under Rich Rod, that had issues. And then the offense slowly got worse
Yeah.
and worse under Hoke, but his defenses were
I guess
actually
you're
pretty
right, yeah.
good. So they kind of flipped.
Right. Yeah, I could see that. I
Um,
guess they were in such a hole that it was difficult to get out of it and get any traction. So even when they did play well, it didn't necessarily look like it because things just weren't going well all around.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's true. Yeah. So I guess in terms of this season, though, okay. So Michigan's lost Mason Graham, Kenneth Grant, and Will Johnson to the NFL. They still return a lot of really good players, though. A lot of the players, except for I think Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant both play. No, Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant did not play in the bowl game. So basically, the defense that we saw play against Alabama in the ReliaQuest Bowl is coming back this season, and they're going to be better and more experienced. So it's kind of amazing just the fact that like holding Alabama to 13 points, holding Ohio State to 10 points, that same defense for the most part is coming back. We've got Derek Moore on the edge is coming back. He is one of the most efficient pass rushers in the country. He had a 23.1% pass rush win rate, ranked 4th nationally last year. Rayshon Benny, defensive tackle. He's the anchor inside. He's healthy, coming off of an injury. Was he injured? I can't remember that. But he had a pretty good 2024 as well. And some of the stuff that we're hearing out of camp is that he's taking on more of a vocal role, more of a vocal leadership role, just because he's growing in experience and stuff like that. The big thing though, so you've got Jayshon Barham and Ernest Hausman, who are both back at linebackers. They're fast, they're physical. That's going to be really, really good for Michigan in the secondary. Rod Moore is coming back. So Rod Moore was injured all last season. I believe he tore his ACL, if I'm not mistaken. He's back and he's ready to go. They said that he's looking good. He's got incredible range. He's got great instincts. He's a really good secondary player for Michigan. So if you think you're going to throw the ball on this Michigan defense, you're probably not going to have a lot of success. Now, combine that with Wink Martindale's scheme, his multiple 4-2-5 look. It's really good at disguising pressure and then rotating in players. So the players are, they said this last year, the players are really good at learning a lot of different positions so that they can have some options at different positions and keep legs fresh and stuff like that. And you really started to see that defense come into its own late in the season, especially against Ohio State and Alabama. I mean, they looked good. They looked very good. Earlier in the season, they were a bit discombobulated, but once they had it figured out, they were good. Wink Martindale so far this season, or at least this offseason, has said that the defense right now has more depth in every single room than they did last year, even though they don't exactly have the star power that they did last year. So like, I was saying, Kenneth Grant, Mason Graham, Will Johnson, all gone. Who can make up for those players? And they have more depth, but do they have anyone that's really going to stand out? That doesn't necessarily matter. Michigan isn't exactly reliant on star power. It just so happens that they get a lot of it. So can they start fast? Yes. Yes, they absolutely can. I mean, they have a couple of fairly easier games. I know they've got Oklahoma's second game. That's not going to be very easy, but between New Mexico and UNLV, make sure I've got that right. I'm sorry, New Mexico and Central Michigan. My bad. I think that they can really nail down something schematically for this season, get the defense ready to go, and then they'll be fine by the time they get to Ohio State. I mean, I think that this defense is going to be dominant this year.
That would be nice. Keegan is asking, is Sayan the starter now at Ohio State? I'm pretty sure he is. He's the name that keeps getting talked about.
He's the name that keeps getting talked about, but I believe
they haven't announced yet.
Yeah. I'm looking it up right now. I believe Ohio State has not announced a starter just yet. Okay, so all signs point to Julian Sayin being Ohio State's quarterback when they open the season against Texas. Sayin is the clear front runner after a strong spring game. Jeremiah Smith publicly praised him, saying he's definitely going to be the guy. It's going to be scary for opponents. Ryan Day has not made it official, but insiders and teammates are saying that Julian Sayin is QB1.
All right.
Yeah.
Street Hawk says they promoted him so JJ wouldn't transfer. That could be.
They promoted who?
Saying?
Oh, Jeremiah Smith. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Brian Hartline already lost his job as play caller so at Ohio State. Yeah. This is the one here. Hartline is a fraud, and so is Matt Patricia. I know. So as a Detroit Lions fan, Matt Patricia he's the DC at Ohio State now, right?
Yeah.
He's the DC at Ohio State. Maybe he's better at college than he was in the pros, but he did not do that great at Detroit. Now, there's always that question of Detroit has always been a tough place to coach because of the owners. But Matt Patricia hasn't really proven himself anywhere else, I don't think. And it was very odd to me when they picked up Matt Patricia at Ohio State. But
yeah, I mean, Matt Patricia, when he was with the Patriots, you know, a lot of people were saying, was any of Belichick's success with the Patriots because of Matt Patricia, or was it because of Tom Brady? It's pretty clear now that it was because of Tom Brady. I think Tom Brady was the tide that lifted all boats. I'm not saying that Bill Belichick isn't a good coach, but I don't think he knew what to do after Tom Brady left. And Matt Patricia, I don't know that he necessarily helped or hindered. I think he was just there. And when left to his own devices, Matt Patricia is not a good coach.
Yeah. And Buckeyes Bellicry makes a good point here too, that not every coordinator is meant to be a head coach.
Right. Yeah.
I think you could actually say that about Brady Hoke too.
Yeah.
Brady Hoke was a fantastic DC, but not, I mean, he wasn't a terrible head coach. He just wasn't a good head coach.
He was another one that he was a good recruiter. Michigan had some decent classes under him, but it didn't equate to on-field results. And that was mostly because his offenses kept getting worse and worse. And that was actually because he wouldn't transition to the new, college football game. His offenses were fairly archaic. I mean, we want to say Jim Harbaugh's offenses were archaic. Sure, but that makes Brady Hoke's ancient.
Right. All right. Question number 5, I think, is what we're on. Michigan has a tougher road schedule this year. They actually have 6 road games, where last year they had 4, or was that the year before?
4, is that it?
I thought so, 4 or 5. But this is a lot of road games for Michigan. How will Michigan do? How will Michigan do on the road? It's a simple question. And I can tell you they've got, let's see. I will tell you what the road games are.
Oklahoma, Nebraska, USC, Michigan State, Northwestern, Maryland.
That's it.
Those
are the road games. And Michigan State as a road game is always kind of a, it might as well be a home game as close as it is, but plus it's, it's our little brother's house. So
yeah, that's true. It's nice that they have us over every once in a while. Yeah.
How does Michigan do on the road this year?
Well, so, okay. I mean, we talked about Oklahoma earlier. I think that game is a toss up right now. I think it's 50-50 just because it's at, Oklahoma. I'm just going to call it a 50-50 right now. Nebraska, Justin Adams might get really mad at me. People are saying some things about Nebraska. I don't know. I mean, Dylan Raiola is a good quarterback, but he was a little bit mistake prone as well. I think it was, maybe they're improved. And I think that they probably are improved. Are they as improved as they need to be in order to move the ball against Michigan's defense? Probably not. So I'm going to say that Michigan's probably going to win that one. Not, maybe it's by a couple of scores. Maybe it looks a little bit closer than it is. Or I'm sorry, maybe it maybe the score doesn't quite indicate how close the game actually was on the, I don't know. I think Michigan pulls away late there. USC, Dan Lynn's done a really good job with that defense. And if the offense holds up, and they've got some turnover on offense too, I believe. Miller Moss is no longer at USC. So who's their quarterback going to be? I'm not entirely sure off the top of my head, but that game's interesting. A lot of people are saying that USC is kind of a sleeper pick for maybe the playoffs, maybe a shot at a Big Ten championship, maybe. I don't know. You kind of got to wait and see. I want to know who their quarterback's going to be. I want to know how the defense is going to look. They've got some turnovers to deal with. Right now, I lean Michigan. That might be a homer take. I'm not going to say it's 50-50. I think it'll be 60-40 Michigan. But I do think that they win. Michigan State. 60. Okay, Keegan says 60-40 against Oklahoma, 70-30 against Nebraska. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's right.
And he's got 65-35 against USC.
Yeah. I don't know a lot about USC right now. So it'll be interesting. I think it'll come down to quarterback play. If Michigan has competent quarterback play, they're going to beat everybody on their schedule. And, because they'll have the defense to keep up with everybody for sure. It's just, do they have the quarterback play? Michigan State. Oklahoma is trash. That should be a win.
Okay.
Yeah, Oklahoma. Okay.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, Michigan State.
Michigan State. Man, I mean, they keep saying, look out for Jonathan Smith. Jonathan Smith's doing good on the recruiting trail. He's doing fine. Well, I shouldn't even say that. The recruiting trail's not looking so hot for him. I need to figure this out real quick. Team rankings. They're 31. I mean, but it could be a situation. Maybe Jonathan Smith's one of those coaches that can take 3 stars and make them play like 5 stars. I don't know. But I mean, that being said, I don't see a lot. What?
This is true.
You guys are the kings of mystery. That is absolutely true.
That's absolutely true.
What did we get wrong this time?
And myself being a lifetime Michigander, I have certain pronunciations for words that everybody else gets wrong, and that's all I'm going to say about that.
Garage, orange. I'm just cran.
Asphalt.
Mm-hmm.
Asphalt.
Asphalt. People who say asphalt are going to hell. Anyway,
door wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
What was I saying? Jonathan Smith. I just don't know what to make of Jonathan Smith. And I think it comes down to their quarterback too. I mean, they need to have some better quarterback play as well. Goodness, what is his name? His name escapes me all of a sudden. The quarterback's name. I got to remember what that was.
At Michigan State?
Yeah. Shoot, what is his name? I cannot remember his name right now. Crap.
Let's see.
Aiden Childs. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So, okay. Aiden Childs is a talented quarterback. He has a lot of athleticism.
It's a roof. Or a roof. I have said roof before. Roof. The thing on top of the house. Okay, carry on.
I'm sorry, who says roof?
It's a roof.
It's on the roof.
Roof? It's the same.
Shingles go on a roof.
Yeah.
It's on the roof. He is standing on the roof. He fell from the roof. All right. Michigan State,
Aiden Childs.
Aiden Childs is an athletic quarterback. He is a good quarterback. He's mistake prone. If he and Nick Marsh can be better, Nick Marsh is actually, I have nothing against Nick Marsh. He's a really good pass catcher, but if Aiden Childs can clean up the mistakes and stuff like that, then I feel like they'll be a better team. And I think that they'll probably go bowling this year. They're still rebuilding, and that's going to take a couple of years. And that might take even longer than normal because they're going up against far better talent in the Big Ten right now. Now they are putting together a decent class, but Jonathan Smith has to work some magic. What can he do with Michigan State this year to keep that class intact? That'll be kind of the question. Now, most people are thinking that Michigan still probably wins this game by 7 to 10 points. I think that it's probably going to be more than that. I think that Michigan's trench game is going to be better than Michigan State's. I think that Michigan probably wins this game by either 14 or 21 points. Simply because I think that they won't have an answer for Bryce Underwood, and Michigan pulls away in the fourth quarter.
Northwestern?
Yeah.
Maryland?
Yeah. How long?
Right.
Okay. So question for my Maryland friends out there. How long until we're done with Mike Locksley? I mean, how much more does he have to prove that he can't do very much with decent talent? I mean, I get it. You're going up against really good teams in the Big Ten. You're probably not going to do a thing. Then leave the Big Ten. Like, you guys are never going to win a Big Ten championship. Either fire Mike Locksley and get someone who can recruit like crazy and also get better donors because your NIL sucks. But when are you going to have some respect for yourself? Maryland can be a tricky game, but like,
it can be a tricky game, and they've given Michigan fits at the end of the season there a couple of times, but
they have, but like, how many times has that been? Because Michigan has been like, okay, it's Maryland and then Ohio State.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, they always catch Michigan flat-footed right before the Ohio State game.
Yeah. I've been wondering that too. It seems like Maryland and Rutgers have not had any success at all in the Big Ten. And, they brought back Greg Schiano at Rutgers to try to build that back up again. And it doesn't seem to be getting much traction.
But you got to think.
I wonder when they just say, okay, well, we're going to kick Rutgers and Maryland out and bring in, Oklahoma.
Yeah, because Oklahoma's going to leave the SEC that they just joined.
Right.
Okay, so
who is the other? Wasn't there talk at one point? Rumors of Florida State joining the Big Ten.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
No, I mean
that was because they couldn't come to some sort of agreement with the ACC, but I think they figured it out.
Right.
Or at least they tried to sue the ACC or something like that. Oh, yeah. The super chat goal ended. Wow, thanks a lot, guys.
Well, I was thinking we'd hit one more question here, and then maybe save the other ones for next week.
All right.
My last question to you then would be, we already talked about Bryce Underwood a bit, but this question has come up, at least for me, and I know other people have had the question too, but rivals are saying, no, you don't pay that kind of money and not start the guy. But Bryce Underwood will be a freshman quarterback next year. We know that stepping out onto that stage of the Big Ten and Michigan with 115,000 fans in your face and then hundreds of thousands more on TV, that's a lot of light in your eyes. And it can be distracting and it can be overwhelming. So does Bryce Underwood, I believe Bryce Underwood is going to be QB1. I think they've basically announced that, if not actually announced that. I know those things can go back and forth, but assuming Bryce Underwood is QB1 come first game, how quickly does he acclimate to the atmosphere at Michigan, and how quickly does he stand out as the generational quarterback that we keep calling him?
I feel like it could be pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's likely that he falls apart under the pressure. I mean, like I said, he's already played in high pressure situations. Is there more pressure since basically all of Michigan fandom is treating him like the second coming of Tom Brady? Well, actually, I shouldn't say that because he wasn't very good in college, or he was passable, I guess.
He broke a couple of records.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know who I should compare him to. JJ McCarthy then? I don't know. he's the second coming of JJ McCarthy, and JJ just left. So what does that say about Michigan quarterbacks? Anyway, so from what we've heard out of camp, from what we've heard from coaches, Connor Stallions even, is that Bryce Underwood is way more mature than his age would suggest.
Mm-hmm.
He's been praised for his composure. He's been praised for his work ethic. He's being touted as having physical traits like, I don't even know. I mean, like, he looks like he should be a professional quarterback at this point. There's a quote from Channing Goodwin, who's a wide receiver at Michigan, said Bryce Underwood is blessed with all the physical traits and is progressing every day against Michigan's elite defense. He's already showing command in the film room. He's focusing on pass progressions, fakes, timing, the little things that kind of separate, they separate the quarterbacks from, an actual field general, basically. Or a raw talent from a field general, I guess I should say. I think that people might be reading too much into the, 12. I think he went 12 for 18 for 160 some odd yards in the spring game. And I think people are kind of looking a little bit too hard at those 3 interceptions that he threw, because he had some amazing throws in that game as well. A couple of touchdowns and all that. He's been compared to Trevor Lawrence and Vince Young in terms of freshman upside. He's already taking first team reps. Underwood himself said he's not shying away from the expectations. He said that fans should expect a big change in Michigan's offense this year, promising a more aggressive downfield attack. So it does seem like he's embracing the pressure rather than ducking it. Are there going to be growing pains? Yes. He will likely throw at least 1 or 2 interceptions against New Mexico, not New Mexico. Who do they start the season with? Yeah, New Mexico.
New Mexico, yeah.
And he will likely throw an interception or 2 against Oklahoma. So against Central Michigan, people are going to be probably going to look at Bryce Underwood like, oh crap, what is happening here? He's not going to throw an interception for the rest of the season. That's just how it's going to be. He's going to get it all out of his system, probably against Oklahoma.
I declare it.
I declare it. It's over. It's done. Whatever. I think that's how it's going to go. So I do think that he's ready. I know, I can't remember who it was that said, I think, was it Chip Lindsey or one of the coaches at Michigan said that Bryce Underwood will just randomly call him 10, 11 o'clock at night, ask him questions about scheme and stuff like that. And there was one point where he would call the coach and start to ask the question and then go silent for a second and then say, oh, never mind, I figured it out, and then hang up.
Oh, I think that was Connor. Connor Stallions?
Okay, yeah.
Bussin' with the Boys podcast, I think, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bussin' with the Boys with Taylor Lewan.
Taylor Lewan, yeah.
Yeah. So everybody's saying that he's wise beyond his years. Everybody's saying that he's got these physical traits that are incredible. They're all saying that he's more than ready for this. I got to believe that he's going to be ready then. I trust what they're saying. And it's not just coach speak for, oh yeah, we're going to be ready. It's going to be a great season. Like they were kind of saying about last year with Alex Orji, and that didn't pan out. Things just feel a little bit different. Chip Lindsey's scheme is a little bit more different. I think Chip Lindsey's scheme actually fits in very nicely with Bryce Underwood's skill set. And then with Jordan Marshall and Justice Haynes in the backfield, that's going to be killer, man. I think that he's going to be good. And I do think that Michigan goes 12-0 this year.
Ooh. Oh yeah. That was actually, there was a CBS Sports article talking about Michigan's ceiling is probably 12-0. Worst case scenario is 7-5. And a lot of it hinges on Bryce Underwood.
7-5?
Yeah. It's if Underwood struggles with consistency, typical of a freshman. So we're talking about that, that's a big stage for a freshman.
Yeah.
So he could struggle. He could get overwhelmed and struggle with consistency. Road games become major hurdles. If they, lose at Oklahoma and Nebraska and USC, they're going to have, a lot of difficulty overcoming that. And then there's the suspension of head coach of Sharon Moore. Will that hurt the team's momentum? So if the season ends with a blowout loss to Ohio State, and he had here a potential NCAA postseason ban, but I don't think that's going to happen. But
That's not going to happen. No.
yeah. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm looking at the chat here, trying to figure out if Tree Dog is talking about Bryce Underwood or if he's talking about somebody else, because he says here, I mean, not winning a championship, he's a step back, so definitely, but I think he could miss the playoffs. So Bryce Underwood, he didn't win the championship in high school this past year. Could they miss the playoffs? That's an interesting one, because I think if Phil Steele is saying that Michigan is a Big Ten title contender, so that's what we were talking about at the beginning of the show. Michigan very well could end up in the Big Ten championship game, but are they prepared for the CFP? And I could see Michigan getting into the CFP this year, but then getting knocked out in the first round. Because that, again, is an entirely different game. You're running into teams that are, it's playoffs create a different mentality. You've got your regular season game. Yes, you want to win, but when you get to that point of being in the playoffs, all of a sudden it's, I have to win, or we have to win. It's not just that we want to win, we have to win. And it creates an additional mentality that not that Michigan wouldn't be able to face that mentality. It's just that those are much tougher teams. And have they had enough time to gel as a unit to be able to overcome that particular obstacle?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
especially given the experience now of a Texas or Penn State. I think, according to Phil Steele, I think Michigan falls just under the middle as far as experience. And then Penn State and Texas are more towards the top.
That makes sense. Yeah. But if Michigan wins the Big Ten, they're going to be one of the top 4 seeds in the tournament. So they would they get a first round bye at that point? Are they still doing that first round bye, or?
I think so. I think this year is the same as last year.
Okay.
Next year would be going to either the 14 or the 16.
Oh, jeez. So sick of that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then this year, I mean, if they get a first round bye and then go to the second round, then they'll probably get bounced in the second round. Because at that point, they're not playing one of the bottom tier teams that just squeaked in, like a Boise State or who was the one Penn State opened up, or Indiana. Indiana made the playoffs and got bounced immediately. Right. So yeah, I mean, at that point they wouldn't be playing one of those teams, so they'd probably get bounced in the second round. I could see that, but honestly, I mean, I'd call that a really good season. Yeah, make it to the second round of the playoffs, beat Ohio State, go 12-0 in the regular season, and win the Big Ten championship. Heck yeah. Yeah.
Keegan says, I'm neutral, wait and see. Yeah. I'm like I've said before, 8-5, last season was the greatest 8-5 season ever, but I really want to see him to do better this year. But I had the same feeling about Harbaugh. It's like, I wanted Michigan to, do certain things. When Harbaugh came in, it was like, okay, I just want him to go, 10-2. And then I want him to get to the Big Ten championship and then win the Big Ten championship and then get into the playoffs and then win the championship. And eventually all that happened. So Sharon Moore coming into this situation the way he has, I'm giving him time. So it should be a good season, I think, regardless. If Michigan even gets to the Big Ten championship, I think that'll be fantastic.
I mean, here's the thing, though. Look at Michigan as a whole. Yeah. Sharon Moore has already outcoached James Franklin, Kalen DeBoer, and Ryan Day. Mm-hmm. Wink Martindale seems to have this defense humming now, and he's got more depth on defense. So I don't think the defense is going to be an issue whatsoever. Yeah. The offense, first off, brings in Chip Lindsey. He's already a proven coordinator. His offenses are pretty good. They have a generational talent at quarterback. I think the only big question is, can the O-line stay solid? And from what we're hearing out of camp is that they're doing very well. Mm-hmm. They're maybe not as deep as we would like them to be. So hopefully they don't get injured. And then the wide receiving core could be better, but those receivers they're connecting with Bryce Underwood very well. I mean, given the schedule, I don't see how Michigan, first off, goes 7-5. I don't think it's going to be that bad. I think it's 10-2 at worst, 12-0 at best. I think that if they go to the Big Ten championship, they will have a coaching edge over whoever they go to the game against. And I understand people want to wait and see with Sharon Moore. I mean, fine. Fine. But to me, he's already kind of proven himself. I mean, he's already outcoached Ryan Day, Kalen DeBoer, and James Franklin. And he's bringing in the coaches around him to make the team better. Like, he's acting as a good CEO, like Harbaugh did.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just not concerned. I don't think that Michigan, I think Michigan at worst goes 10-2 or at best 12-0 with a Big Ten championship win. Maybe they get bounced in the second round of the playoffs. Fine. But I think Michigan's in really good hands with Sharon Moore.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that. I think with the talent Michigan is pulling in, frankly, Sharon Moore's composure. I mean, with everything that's going on, I mean, we saw not last year, but in 23, with everything that was going on, the composure that Michigan maintained throughout the season to win the national championship. We still see that composure in Sharon Moore. We still see that composure that, it starts with the head coach and rolls downhill. And with that, with the talent they're bringing in, there's every reason they have it all there. They can do it. It's just follow through. Where do you go with the follow through? So yeah, Keegan says he thinks Michigan goes undefeated in the Big Ten. Tree Dog. Ohio State is going to struggle against Michigan for the foreseeable future. Actually, even our friends Buckeyes Battle Cry agrees with that because they think that Michigan is just in Ryan Day's head. Ryan Day has a Michigan problem.
Yeah.
For some reason. Michigan has 6 blue chip OTs. 2 of them are 5 stars, and one of them is Ohio Blake Frazier, and he's going to start. Yeah. They're pulling in the talent.
Yeah. They've got a great O-line class coming in and a great D-line class coming in too.
Frazier and Sprague will probably start as redshirt freshmen. Babaloa is out there. Ohio State is cooked. They were top 15 in their class, potential All-Americans. Yeah, the talent is there. Michigan has the opportunity to do something tremendous this year as a follow-up. Real quick, I just want to point this out. Thunder Redmond, Michigan football, is asking us to be on his channel. Thunder, I left you my Twitter account there. Hit me with the DM on there. If you don't have that, should I give out my email? No, just contact me. You can get to me through Twitter or you can get to us through the website, teamrivalry.com. Extra point at teamrivalry.com is the email address.
Yeah, it is.
Do that one. And then we'll work it out with me and Mac. We're kind of a package deal. We don't always have to do the shows together, but usually if I do it, Mac does it. If Mac does it, I do it. So so hit us up and I will learn how to talk and not make a fool of myself on your show.
Will you though?
No, I still will.
That's kind of our thing though.
It is. And
that's why I'm surprised.
I think from the more professional podcasts where they do things right. You don't need to see that all the time. Sometimes you just want to see people screw up. That's where we come in.
That's why you watch this show is to watch a train wreck. It's the same reason that you watch a train wreck. You can't look away. It's just
NASCAR.
Bad.
Yeah.
Or NASCAR. Yeah.
I mean, if we were NASCAR and the cars were just going around like they're supposed to, nobody wants to watch that.
Nobody wants to watch that. We want wrecks.
Smash.
We want blood, guts,
gore. We want everybody to be okay.
Well,
but not the cars. That's the situation there.
Yeah. You know that movie Real Steel?
Yeah.
I feel like that's what
we fighting really robots.
Need. Yeah.
That's a good movie.
That is a good movie. That's what we need. Because then you can say things like, I want carnage, I want destruction and all that kind of stuff. And no one gets hurt.
Right. It's just a robot.
It's great. Also, all right, real quick, since we're wrapping up, first off, couple of huge things, a couple of channel milestones. I just want to point out, we averaged almost 30 viewers through the entire stream. That is a record, and that is a massive record. It has broken our previous record by a lot, actually double. So thank you very much, everybody. Really appreciate that.
What?
Why are you holding a guitar pick?
Oh,
Red
this
pick.
is my fidget thing.
Oh, okay.
So I can concentrate.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Why do you have a medical problem? No, I'm kidding. We are. That's epic. I love it. We are also at 1,429 subscribers. Can't thank you guys enough.
Yes.
If anybody wants to subscribe real quick and make that 1430, that'd be dope.
That would help our OCD tremendously.
We need at least 1,500 before my OCD is cured.
Oh,
anyway, yeah.
Sure.
We also have 30 likes, which is also more than we have ever gotten on a live stream by a lot. So thank you very much, everybody. I mean, this recent blow up of the channel has just been super humbling, and we're very honored that all of you have come and stopped by and hang out with us. I mean, like we said, we're not experts. We're not insiders. We happen to know a couple of things, but we just really like talking football and having fun and making jokes.
Absolutely.
And being a train wreck. So
Right.
that's where we're at.
Keegan, thank you very much for the $1.99 super chat. It's actually describing what it is. Oh, he just sent another one. Wait a minute.
Oh my goodness.
We're coming in fast and furious here.
Hey guys, the
character. Okay. Thank you again, Keegan. Another $1.99 there. And then Buckeyes Battle Cry comes in with another $1.99 there. Keep up the great work. Channel is booming. Thank you, Buckeyes Battle Cry.
Thank you
Appreciate
very
it.
much. Yeah.
So that's 4. Oh, no, Keegan just hit 5.
4. Keegan just hit 5. All right. But the goal is over. So
well, no, we can still honor that. That's all right.
I know.
So Keegan is number 5. So it's Keegan. Keegan gets to tell you what shirt to wear next week.
Yeah, he does. All right, Keegan.
All right.
You're number 5. If anybody super chats after him, though, before we go offline, then, they get it. But for right now, it's up to Keegan. So Keegan can determine what shirt I wear on next week's show. Keeping in mind, no shirt is not an option unless you give us $100 super chat. Then I will think about it.
Yeah, whatever happened to Studley?
Oh, yeah. He missed out on
where is he?
Thing. Yeah, what the heck?
All right. Thank you guys for the super chats. We really appreciate it. I think that's going to do it for us tonight. Keep an eye on the channel. We've got some cool videos out there right now. Mac has been doing a bang up job. Like I said, we've got a Oregon 2024 a look back video coming as soon as I can edit it. Mac already did the narration. Now I just have to, Mac did the writing and the narration. I just have to edit the blasted thing. Oh, Buckeyes Battle Cry just put in another one.
Oh, geez. All right. Sorry, Keegan.
But wait a minute. Keegan had already said an all black shirt.
An all black shirt. Well, but then Buckeyes Battle Cry, either Peter or Rob just sent another one. So who do we go with?
Oh no. Tell you what, you wear the all black one and we'll end it with Buckeyes Battle Cry. Buckeyes Battle Cry, whatever shirt you want me to wear, I will wear.
There we go.
College football team. By the way, not whatever shirt.
Not whatever shirt. Yeah. We're not getting kinky on this show.
That's right. Thank you guys, Buckeyes Battle Cry and Keegan, for financing the show tonight. That's very nice of all of you guys.
Thank you to our sponsors, Buckeyes Battle Cry and Keegan.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add, Mac?
I'm just waiting to see what shirt Buckeyes Battle Cry wants.
Oh, that's right too. Yeah. Well, he can always
shirts versus skins. There it is. I'll wear the black shirt. You go shirtless.
I'm not going shirtless.
Yeah, well, that's probably better for all of our eyeballs.
For $10.
All right.
Well, Buckeyes Battle Cry. Rob, you know how to reach me. You can tell me what shirt you want. Oh, a Roll Tide shirt. All right.
You got to wear an Alabama shirt on next show.
Okay.
I'll do that. Wear an all black one.
I just got to find one.
Oh, you know what? I've got my
Alabama shirt on here. I'll find one. I'll do it.
Amazon.
And I will wear it next week. Oh, Amazon. That's true too, I guess.
Yeah.
This is the World Wide Web after all. All right. Thank you guys very much. That's going to do it for us tonight. We'll be back with videos during the week. We'll be back with our live stream next Wednesday night at 8:30. Mac, take us out.
This is the Big Ten or Michigan, probably Michigan, team rivalry show because we pretty much only ever talk about Michigan. Bye.
Bye, guys.